The first snowfall in Frostvale arrived like a soft whisper, blanketing the town in a pristine layer of white. The air turned crisp, and the scent of pine filled the streets as the townspeople emerged from their homes, their breath forming misty clouds in the chilly winter air. Children bundled up in scarves and mittens raced to build snowmen, and the anticipation of Christmas hung in the air like a promise. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow on the snow-covered rooftops, the town's enchanting transformation began. The flickering lights of decorations adorned every house, and the main square boasted a towering Christmas tree, adorned with glistening ornaments and twinkling lights. It was a scene straight out of a holiday postcard, and the residents of Frostvale reveled in the magical ambience. Amidst the festive atmosphere, a subtle shift occurred as night settled in. A gentle hush descended upon the town, and from the stillness emerged the ethereal sounds of children's voices. The haunting melodies wafted through the frosty air, captivating the townsfolk with an otherworldly allure. The choir, unseen yet undeniably present, wove a tapestry of sound that seemed to echo from a time long past. In the town square, a group of townspeople gathered, their expressions a mixture of awe and curiosity. Among them was Sarah Turner, a young mother with a twinkle in her eye as she held her daughter Emily's hand. They stood near the Christmas tree, entranced by the spectral choir. "Mommy, it's like magic," Emily whispered, her eyes wide with wonder. Sarah smiled down at her daughter, her breath visible in the chilly air. "Yes, sweetheart, it's one of Frostvale's special traditions. The choir of children from years ago, singing to us from beyond." The choir's voices grew stronger, each note carrying a sense of innocence and longing. The townspeople exchanged knowing glances, reveling in the shared experience that made Frostvale unique. As the last strains of the haunting melodies faded away, the townspeople dispersed, their hearts filled with the enchantment of the season. Unbeknownst to them, a sense of foreboding lingered in the air, a whisper of something darker beneath the surface. Later that evening, in the quiet of her home, Sarah couldn't shake the lingering echoes of the choir. She sat by the fireplace, the warmth not enough to dispel the chill that had settled in her bones. Her husband, David, entered the room, his brow furrowed. "Did you hear that, Sarah?" The choir. "It's beautiful, but there's something strange about it." Sarah looked up, her eyes reflecting a mix of fascination and uncertainty. "I know what you mean. It's like the past is reaching out to us. But isn't that part of what makes Frostvale so special?" David nodded, but a shadow passed over his features. "I can't help but feel there's more to it. I heard whispers from old-timers that this choir isn't just a quaint tradition. There's a story, a tragic one." Sarah's curiosity deepened and a shiver ran down her spine. Little did they know that the haunting melodies heralded the beginning of a chilling tale that would unravel the fabric of Frostvale's idyllic charm. The echoes of the spectral choir lingered in the air, becoming an integral part of Frostvale's nightly routine. The townspeople embraced the haunting melodies as if they were a comforting lullaby, weaving through the frosty air like the softest of whispers. The choir's mysterious presence cast a spell over the town, enhancing the enchantment of the Christmas season. In the town square, a makeshift stage was erected, adorned with twinkling lights and festive decorations. The choir's ethereal voices emanated from unseen sources, capturing the attention of residents who gathered, their faces reflecting a mixture of fascination and reverence. Among the onlookers was Mr. Thompson, the elderly owner of the town's only bookstore. He stood at the edge of the crowd, his weathered face etched with a lifetime of stories. As the choir's melodies enveloped the square, he turned to a fellow spectator, Mrs. Peterson, the owner of the local bakery. "Ah, the choir. Takes me back, it does," Mr. Thompson mused, his eyes glinting with nostalgia. Mrs. Peterson nodded, a wistful smile on her face. "It's like a living piece of history, a connection to our past. I've heard tales from my grandmother about the children who used to sing here. Tragic it was. What happened to them? Mr. Thompson's expression grew somber. Aye, but their voices endure. A charming tradition, they call it. But there's more to it, you know. A pact with the past, some say. As the townspeople reveled in the enchanting melodies, Eva, the intrepid journalist new to Frostvale, moved through the crowd, a notebook in hand. She sensed a story beneath the surface, something that transcended the charm of a small town's holiday tradition. Her eyes sparkled with curiosity, and she approached Mr. Thompson and Mrs. Peterson. Excuse me, may I have a moment of your time? Eva asked, a glint of determination in her eyes. Mr. Thompson glanced at her with a twinkle of interest. A journalist, eh? What brings you to our little town? Eva smiled warmly. I've heard about Frostvale's unique Christmas traditions, especially the choir of children's voices. It's quite enchanting. Mind sharing a bit of the history behind it? Mrs. Peterson exchanged a knowing look with Mr. Thompson before speaking. Oh, it's a tale as old as Frostvale itself. The choir, you see, belonged to a group of children who used to sing here decades ago. Tragedy struck one winter, and they disappeared in a blizzard. Now, every Christmas, their voices return to bring joy to our town. Eva scribbled notes furiously, her journalistic instincts kicking in. Disappeared in a blizzard, you say? That must have been a devastating event for Frostvale. Are there any records or accounts of what happened? Mr. Thompson hesitated, his gaze fixed on the distant horizon. Records are sparse and memories fade over time. But some believe there's more to the story than meets the eye. Whispers of a pact with forces beyond our understanding. Eva's eyes widened with intrigue. A pact? Can you elaborate on that? Before Mr. Thompson could respond, the choir's melodies reached a crescendo, capturing the attention of the entire square. The townspeople, lost in the beauty of the tradition, embraced the haunting tunes with open hearts, oblivious to the shadows that lurked in the corners of Frostvale's history. As Eva continued her investigation, she couldn't shake the feeling that the charming tradition held secrets waiting to be unveiled. Little did she know that her quest for the truth would lead her down a path where the line between folklore and reality blurred, and the true nature of the frozen choir began to reveal itself. The next morning, Frostvale awoke to a world draped in a pristine blanket of snow. The winter sun cast a soft glow on a landscape, turning the town into a picture-perfect Christmas scene. However, beneath the surface of holiday cheer, a sense of unease lingered, fueled by the haunting melodies that had become an integral part of the town's nights. Eva, the curious journalist, delved deeper into Frostvale's history, her investigation leading her to the town archives. She pored over weathered documents and yellowed newspaper clippings, uncovering the tragic tale of the children who had formed the original choir. The blizzard that had swallowed them whole was detailed in faded ink, the incident shrouded in mystery. As Eva leafed through the archives, she stumbled upon an old interview with a weathered survivor of that fateful night. His name was Thomas Baker, now residing in a quiet corner of Frostvale. Determined to unravel the truth, Eva sought out the elderly man. Thomas, seated in a cozy armchair by the fireplace, greeted Eva with a wary but curious expression. What brings a young journalist like yourself to an old man's doorstep? Eva, notebook in hand, replied, I'm here to learn about the choir, the children who disappeared in the blizzard. I want to understand the history behind Frostvale's unique Christmas tradition. Thomas sighed, his gaze distant. Ah, the choir. I remember those voices like it was yesterday. They were the heart and soul of Frostvale. But that winter night, it changed everything. Eva leaned forward, her pen poised. Can you tell me what happened that night, Mr. Baker? The town records are sparse, and I'm trying to piece together the events leading to the choir's disappearance. Thomas hesitated, as if grappling with memories buried deep within. It was a blizzard like no other. The children were rehearsing for the Christmas Eve performance, their voices carrying through the frosty air. Suddenly, the storm intensified, and before we knew it, they were gone, vanished without a trace. Eva's brow furrowed. Were there any search efforts, any attempts to find them? Thomas nodded solemnly. We searched for days, but the blizzard had covered their tracks. It was as if they were swallowed by the storm itself. Eventually, we had to accept the grim reality. The children were lost to us. Eva sensed there was more to the story. Mr. Baker, some residents mentioned whispers of a pact or something beyond the ordinary. Do you know anything about that? Thomas's eyes flickered with a mixture of hesitation and understanding. There are old tales, legends passed down through generations. Some believe the children's voices return each Christmas as part of a pact, a connection to the other side. But it's just folklore, nothing more. Eva couldn't shake the feeling that there was a hidden truth waiting to be unraveled. As she left Thomas Baker's home, she decided to seek out the retired music teacher mentioned in her previous interviews. A woman rumored to have a deep understanding of Frostvale's musical traditions. Ms. Anderson, the elderly music teacher, lived on the outskirts of town in a quaint cottage surrounded by snow-covered trees. Eva arrived, her breath visible in the crisp air, and knocked on the door. Ms. Anderson opened the door, her eyes keen with a spark of recognition. "You're the journalist, aren't you? Come in, child. I've been expecting you." Eva stepped into the cozy cottage, the scent of old books and wood smoke filling the air. "Ms. Anderson, I've heard that you have insights into Frostvale's musical traditions, particularly the choir. Can you shed light on the origins and any peculiarities surrounding it?" Ms. Anderson nodded knowingly. "Child, the choir is more than a tradition. It's a conduit, a link to the past. The children's voices carry the weight of history, and their disappearance left a mark on Frostvale that transcends the ordinary." As Ms. Anderson spoke, the haunting melodies echoed in the background, as if responding to the mention of the choir. Eva listened intently, her quest for the truth unraveling a web of mysteries that seemed to entwine the present with the ghosts of Christmas past. The enchantment of Frostvale's Christmas celebrations continued, but an undercurrent of fear began to weave its way through the town. The haunting melodies of the spectral choir, once embraced as a charming tradition, now carried a foreboding weight. As the townspeople reveled in a festive atmosphere, a shadowy fear cast its pall over the joyous season. Sarah and David Turner, the couple who had marveled at the choir in Chapter 2, found themselves at the heart of the unsettling developments. One evening, as they returned home after a visit to the town square, they noticed a peculiar absence. "Where's Emily?" David asked, scanning the living room for their daughter. Sarah's eyes widened with a sudden realization. "I thought she was with you. I haven't seen her since we left the square." Panic set in as they frantically searched the house and called out for Emily, but their pleas echoed in the empty rooms. Emily had vanished without a trace, leaving behind a chilling silence that filled their home. Word of Emily's disappearance spread like wildfire through Frostvale, sending shockwaves of fear and disbelief. The once close-knit community became a fractured mosaic of uncertainty, and the haunting melodies of the spectral choir took on a more ominous tone. Eva, the determined journalist, seized the opportunity to delve deeper into the mystery. She sought out Sarah and David, hoping to uncover any clues that might connect Emily's disappearance to the chilling history of the vanished choir. In their living room, Sarah and David sat huddled together, their faces etched with grief and worry. Eva, with empathy in her eyes, asked, "Can you think of anything unusual or out of the ordinary that happened leading up to Emily's disappearance? Anything at all?" David shook his head, his voice trembling. "It was a normal evening. We enjoyed the choir, and then we came home. We never imagined something like this would happen." Sarah, wiping away tears, added, "Emily was so enchanted by the choir's voices. She wanted to stay a bit longer to listen. We never thought she'd just vanish." Eva could sense the town's unraveling and the weight of responsibility pressing upon her. She decided to attend a town meeting convened to address the growing sense of panic. The once festive atmosphere now hung heavy with sorrow and fear. In the dimly lit community center, the townspeople gathered, their faces etched with concern. Mayor Anderson, a figure of authority and reassurance, addressed the anxious crowd. "We must remain calm and united in the face of these challenging times. We will launch a search for Emily and do everything in our power to bring her home safely." A voice from the crowd, Mrs. Peterson, the owner of the local bakery, spoke up, her eyes filled with worry. "How can we go on as if everything is normal? The choir, it's not just a tradition. It's something more, something dark. We've ignored the warnings for too long." The murmurs of agreement spread like wildfire, and the once unified community began to splinter. Fear gripped the hearts of the townspeople, and the realization that their quaint Christmas tradition harbored a malevolent force sank in. Eva seized the opportunity to address the gathering. "I've been researching the history of the choir, and there's more to it than meets the eye. The children who formed the original choir disappeared in a blizzard, and there are whispers of a pact, a connection to forces beyond our understanding. We can't ignore the possibility that what happened to Emily is linked to this dark history." The room fell silent as Eva's words hung in the air. Mayor Anderson, after a moment of contemplation, nodded solemnly. "We need answers. We can't let fear divide us. We'll launch a comprehensive search for Emily and confront the truth about the choir, no matter how unsettling it may be." The townspeople, though still gripped by fear, found a glimmer of determination in the face of adversity. Frostvale, once a bastion of holiday cheer, had become a town on the brink of unraveling, and its salvation lay in the pursuit of the chilling truth behind the frozen choir. As Frostvale grappled with the disappearance of Emily, the haunting melodies of the spectral choir seemed to intensify, weaving through the town like an insidious thread. Eva, fueled by a sense of urgency and a growing unease, found herself drawn deeper into the mysteries surrounding the frozen choir. Driven by a relentless desire for answers, Eva sought out the retired music teacher, Ms. Anderson, whose insights had proven invaluable before. The elderly woman lived on the outskirts of town, surrounded by the hushed tranquility of snow-laden trees. Upon entering Ms. Anderson's cottage, Eva was greeted by the comforting warmth of a crackling fireplace. The room, adorned with musical instruments and faded sheet music, exuded an air of nostalgia. Ms. Anderson, a guardian of Frostvale's musical history, welcomed Eva with a knowing smile. "Sit, child. The answers you seek are intertwined with the melodies that echo through our town," Ms. Anderson said, her eyes gleaming with a wisdom that surpassed the passage of time. Eva, her notebook at the ready, leaned forward. "Ms. Anderson, the choir's voices seem to have taken on a different quality since Emily's disappearance. Have you noticed any change in the music itself?" Ms. Anderson nodded thoughtfully. "The melodies are a reflection of the town's spirit, its joy, but also its pain. The choir serves as a conduit for the emotions buried within Frostvale. The disappearance of the children, the tragedy that befell them, it has left an indelible mark on the very essence of our town." As they spoke, the haunting melodies floated through the cottage, as if responding to the conversation. Eva felt a chill run down her spine, a sense that the music held secrets waiting to be unveiled. Meanwhile, in the heart of Frostvale, the Turner household remained shrouded in sorrow. Sarah and David, determined to find their daughter, clung to the hope that the town's search efforts would yield results. In their living room, surrounded by family photographs and memories of happier times, they confronted the reality of their nightmare. David, his voice tinged with desperation, said, We can't just wait for the town to find Emily. We need to do something. Anything. Sarah, though weary, nodded in agreement. Maybe there's a connection between the choir and Emily's disappearance. We should find out more about the history, the pact that Mr. Thompson mentioned. Determined, they decided to attend the next town meeting, where Mayor Anderson would provide updates on the search for Emily and address the rising concerns about the spectral choir. The community center, once a hub of holiday cheer, now bore witness to the town's collective anxiety. Mayor Anderson, his usual air of confidence tested, faced the worried townspeople. "We're doing everything in our power to locate Emily. The search is ongoing, and we won't rest until she's found." A voice from the crowd, Mr. Johnson, a local shopkeeper, spoke up. "What about the choir, Mayor? Are we just going to ignore the fact that strange things have been happening since they started singing?" The sentiment resonated with the gathering, the unease palpable in the air. Mayor Anderson, aware of the growing tension, replied, "We're looking into every aspect of the choir's history. Rest assured, our priority is to ensure the safety of our children and the well-being of our town." As the meeting concluded, Sarah approached Eva, who had been silently observing the proceedings. "Miss, you're investigating the choir, aren't you? We need to know if there's any connection to Emily's disappearance." Eva, empathetic to their pain, nodded. "I believe there's a deeper truth to uncover. I'll do everything I can to find answers, not just for you but for the entire town." In the following days, Eva delved into Frostvale's archives once more, uncovering snippets of information that hinted at a connection between the choir's melodies and the emotional fabric of the town. The melodies, it seemed, were not just a reflection of joy, but also a mirror to the town's collective grief. Haunted by the eerie tunes, Eva continued her research, driven by a relentless pursuit of the chilling truth behind the frozen choir. Little did she know that her investigation would lead her to confront forces that transcended the boundaries of the ordinary, unraveling a tale that intertwined the past, the present, and the unseen realms lurking within the winter wonderland of Frostvale. The town of Frostvale, once a haven of holiday cheer, now stood at the crossroads of mystery and terror. The disappearance of Emily cast a long, chilling shadow over the community, and the haunting melodies of the spectral choir seemed to echo with a newfound intensity. Eva, the determined journalist, continued her quest for answers. Guided by a sense of purpose, she sought out Ms. Anderson, the retired music teacher, hoping to unravel the secrets hidden within Frostvale's musical history. In Ms. Anderson's cozy cottage, surrounded by the hushed tranquility of falling snow, Eva pressed the elderly woman for more insights. "Ms. Anderson, there's something about the choir's melodies, something otherworldly. Can you shed light on the pact that people speak of?" Ms. Anderson's eyes, pools of wisdom, met Eva's gaze. "Child, the pact is an ancient agreement, a bond forged between the town and forces that transcend our understanding. The disappearance of the original choir was no accident. It was part of the pact, a price paid for a connection with the other side." Eva, though captivated by the revelations, sought clarity. "What kind of forces are we talking about, and what purpose does the choir serve in this pact?" Ms. Anderson sighed, the weight of untold secrets evident in her expression. "The forces are ancient, tied to the very essence of Frostvale. The choir serves as a conduit, channeling the emotions and memories of the town. It's a delicate balance, but one that has been disrupted, leading to the current unrest." As Eva processed the unearthly revelations, she couldn't shake the feeling that the answers lay not just in the past, but in the present turmoil enveloping Frostvale. Meanwhile, the Turner household, gripped by grief, became a focal point of the town's collective concern. Sarah and David, desperate for any shred of information about Emily's whereabouts, found themselves drawn to the mysteries surrounding the choir. In the solitude of their living room, surrounded by the trinkets and mementos of their once happy life, David spoke with a sense of urgency. Sarah, we can't just sit here waiting. If there's a connection between Emily's disappearance and the choir, we need to find out more. Sarah, her eyes filled with a mix of sorrow and determination, nodded. We can't rely on the town alone. We need to uncover the truth ourselves. Let's start with Mr. Thompson. He mentioned the pact before. Maybe he knows more. The couple set out to find Mr. Thompson, the elderly owner of the town's bookstore, whose knowledge of Frostvale's history had proven invaluable before. In the dimly lit bookstore, shelves lined with dusty volumes, they found Mr. Thompson engrossed in a weathered book. As they approached, David spoke up. Mr. Thompson, we need to know more about the pact, about what happened to the original choir. It's connected to Emily's disappearance, isn't it? Mr. Thompson, his eyes bearing the weight of decades, looked up. Ah, the pact. A bargain struck in times long past. A deal with forces beyond our reckoning. The choir is the key to maintaining that delicate balance. But something has upset the equilibrium, and the town is paying the price. Sarah, her voice filled with a mix of fear and determination, asked, how do we restore the balance? How do we bring Emily back? Mr. Thompson hesitated before responding. To restore the balance, you must confront the source of the disturbance. The echoes of the past linger in the present, and the frozen choir holds the key to resolving the turmoil. Seek the truth in the heart of the spectral melodies. Armed with newfound knowledge, Sarah and David embarked on a journey to unravel the mysteries that gripped Frostvale. Meanwhile, Eva, driven by a relentless pursuit of truth, found herself drawn to the town square as the haunting melodies of the spectral choir reached a haunting crescendo. The air itself seemed to vibrate with unseen forces, and as Eva stood amidst the swirl of winter winds, the choir's voices whispered secrets of ages past. The very fabric of Frostvale trembled as the town hurtled toward a reckoning with its own history, and the chilling truth behind the frozen choir awaited its unveiling. As the haunting melodies of the spectral choir intensified, the once joyful town of Frostvale descended further into an abyss of uncertainty and fear. Eva, Sarah, and David found themselves on the brink of a revelation, their paths converging toward the heart of the chilling mystery that gripped the town. Eva, compelled by an otherworldly force, ventured into the town square as the moon cast an eerie glow on the snow-covered landscape. The spectral choir's voices, now a haunting cacophony, echoed through the air, resonating with the very soul of Frostvale. In the midst of the ethereal symphony, Eva spotted Miss Anderson, standing near the towering Christmas tree, her eyes reflecting a mixture of sorrow and resolve. As they made eye contact, Miss Anderson beckoned for Eva to approach. Child, the time has come to confront the forces that bind Frostvale to the other side, Miss Anderson said, her voice carrying the weight of centuries. Eva, her senses heightened by the supernatural, asked, what do we need to do? How do we break this cycle and find Emily? Miss Anderson's gaze fixed on the flickering lights of the Christmas tree. The choir is a vessel of emotions, both joy and sorrow. To restore balance, you must delve into the heart of the spectral melodies and uncover the unresolved pain that binds the town. Meanwhile, guided by the insights of Mr. Thompson, Sarah and David embarked on a journey to the outskirts of Frostvale, where the original choir had disappeared decades ago. The air grew colder as they approached an abandoned workshop, its windows shattered and doors creaking in the winter wind. As they stepped inside, the remnants of a forgotten era surrounded them. Dusty sheet music, broken instruments, and the lingering echoes of a tragic past. David, his breath visible in the frigid air, said, this place holds the key. The workshop of the original choir. Sarah, her eyes scanning the forgotten relics, added, if we understand what happened here, maybe we can break the curse and bring Emily back. Back in the town square, Eva, guided by the spectral voices, felt a palpable shift in the air. Shadows danced around her as the haunting melodies reached a climax. In the midst of the ethereal performance, the air itself seemed to part, revealing a vision of the past. Glimpses of the original choir, frozen in time, appeared before Eva's eyes. The children sang with innocence, their voices carrying the weight of unspoken pain. Among them, a figure clad in darkness stood, orchestrating the tragic destiny that awaited the choir. As the vision unfolded, Ms. Anderson whispered, "That figure, the orchestrator of sorrow, is the embodiment of the imbalance. Confront it, and you will find the key to restoring Frostvale's harmony." Simultaneously, Sarah and David uncovered a hidden chamber in the depths of the abandoned workshop. The air within was dense with the residual energy of long-forgotten despair. In the center of the room stood a spectral figure, the orchestrator of Frostvale's torment. David, his voice firm, said, "This figure, it's the source of the imbalance. We have to confront it to save our town." As the three threads of fate converged, Eva in the town square, Sarah and David in the workshop, a portal to the other side opened, revealing the orchestrator of sorrow. The figure, a manifestation of ancient grief, turned its gaze toward them. Eva, guided by the spectral voices, spoke with determination. "You've caused enough pain. We won't let you take Emily or our town any longer." The orchestrator, its voice a chilling echo, responded, "Frostvale's fate is sealed. The pact demands its toll, and the choir shall sing for eternity." Undeterred, Sarah and David stepped forward, their resolve unwavering. "We won't let you take our daughter. Frostvale will find its balance, and the choir will sing in harmony once more," David declared. A battle of wills unfolded between the townspeople and the orchestrator of sorrow, the air crackling with energy. As they confronted the embodiment of Frostvale's torment, the haunting melodies of the spectral choir shifted, becoming a symphony of resolution and release. In the heart of the winter night, as the moon cast a final silvery glow, Frostvale teetered on the edge of redemption. The orchestrator of sorrow, its spectral form dissipating, uttered a haunting whisper before fading into the shadows. The balance is restored, but the echoes will linger. The town square fell silent, the spectral choir's voices fading into the winter night. In the aftermath, Eva, Sarah, and David stood together, united by a shared journey into the darkness and a determination to rebuild Frostvale from the ashes of its haunted past. As Frostvale stood on the precipice of redemption, the chilling winds of the winter night carried whispers of a resolution. The orchestrator of sorrow, its spectral form dissolving into the shadows, left the town square in an eerie calm. The haunting melodies of the spectral choir, once an embodiment of tragedy, shifted into a harmonious symphony that seemed to reverberate with the echoes of healing. Eva, Sarah, and David, bound by a shared journey into the heart of darkness, now found themselves standing amidst the transformed town square. The moon bathed Frostvale in a silvery glow, and the air, once thick with fear, now carried the promise of renewal. Ms. Anderson, the guardian of Frostvale's musical history, approached the trio with a knowing smile. "The curse is broken, but the echoes of the past will linger. Frostvale has been given a chance at a new beginning." Eva, her eyes reflecting the weight of the journey, asked, "What about Emily? Is she still lost to us?" Ms. Anderson's gaze softened. "The town's balance has been restored, and with it the chance for resolution. Seek out the heart of Frostvale, the frozen choir. There you may find the answers you seek." Determined to reunite with their daughter, Sarah and David set out for the frozen choir, guided by the transformed melodies that echoed through the night. As they approached the town square's center, the towering Christmas tree stood as a symbol of hope amidst the winter wonderland. In the midst of the frozen choir, a spectral figure appeared, a manifestation of the original choir's collective spirit. Emily, frozen in time yet somehow aware, stood among the spectral children, her eyes conveying a mix of innocence and understanding. Sarah, her voice a tender whisper, called out, "Emily, can you hear us? We've come to take you home." The spectral Emily turned toward her parents, and a gentle nod seemed to convey a sense of closure. The orchestrator of sorrow had been vanquished, and the balance of Frostvale had been restored. As they reached out to touch Emily, the spectral children's voices merged into a final, ethereal melody. The winter winds carried the collective sigh of the town, releasing the weight of decades of sorrow. The frozen choir, once a symbol of tragedy, became a testament to the resilience of Frostvale's spirit. Ava, who had followed the Turners to the town square, witnessed the poignant reunion. She approached, her eyes brimming with a mix of relief and awe. "It's over, isn't it? The curse is truly broken." David, his arm around Sarah and Emily, nodded. "Frostvale has a chance to move forward, to embrace a new beginning. We've confronted the darkness and emerged on the other side." As the first light of dawn broke over Frostvale, the transformed town square shimmered with an otherworldly glow. The Christmas tree, adorned with glistening ornaments, stood as a symbol of resilience, its lights flickering with newfound vibrancy. Ms. Anderson, who had observed the unfolding events, approached Ava with a wise smile. "The town's healing has begun, but Frostvale's story will forever bear the echoes of its past. The frozen choir, now a symbol of redemption, will continue to sing in harmony with the town's spirit." Eva, her journalistic instincts still aflame, asked, "What will happen to Frostvale now? Will it ever be truly free from the pact?" Ms. Anderson's gaze wandered toward the horizon. "Frostvale will carry the scars of its history, but scars are a testament to healing. The town will thrive, embracing its newfound resilience and the lessons learned from the shadows." As the townspeople awoke to the transformed Frostvale, a shared understanding blossomed among them. The frozen choir, once a source of fear, had become a source of strength, a reminder of the town's ability to confront its darkest moments and emerge stronger. In the days that followed, Frostvale gradually returned to its festive charm, but with a newfound appreciation for the fragility of joy and the resilience of the human spirit. The Christmas season, once overshadowed by tragedy, now bore the echoes of a triumphant symphony, a testament to the enduring power of hope and the ability to break free from the chains of the past. Eva, her journalistic endeavor complete, observed the town's transformation with a sense of satisfaction. As Frostvale embarked on a new chapter, the echoes of the spectral choir, now a melody of redemption, continued to weave through the winter air, a haunting yet beautiful reminder of the town's journey into darkness and its triumphant emergence into the light.